You're welcome back. This is News File, your most authoritative news analysis platform. I'm Samson Ladi Anyenini. And this morning, as often, many of you reach out to me and try to suggest what should constitute my take. A very good friend of mine kept pushing one particular subject this week. And I felt, what's my business? If adults are heard on radio and TV trading insults, why should it be my business? It only tells who they are. So eventually, I decided that instead of just minding my business, at least I can say this. So I say, stop it. Just stop it. The late President, Professor John Evans Atta Mills, died in office 10 years ago tomorrow, 24th of July, 2022. The ugly media spectacle between some members of his family, some members of the NDC and Koko Ayedoho, who is angry at and livid every minute, speaking on radio and spewing pure insult and nothing else. They have been trading insults over the renovation and commissioning of the Asumdwe Park and the whereabouts of his mortal remains. That's a bit strange, though. It's both disgusting and disrespectful to the memory of the late president. On the eve of the 10th anniversary of his death, yes, he came from a family. Yes, he belonged to a political party, but he was the president of Ghana. Today we are talking about corruption, and he's the only president that people can point to and say he was not corrupt, even including his opponents. He belonged to the whole country prior to his unfortunate demise. And yes, he taught many people the law. His legacy and memory transcend his family and political ties. Well, it's obviously very wrong if his family was not consulted, rather a certain institute set up at his back that was consulted and leading the process. For those who knew Professor Mills, it is a strange irony that the 10th anniversary of the death of the kind-hearted, humble, and peace-loving former president should be characterized by such acrimonious and uncultured public insult fest. Well, this was a man who, we're told by his opponents, had turned the castle into a church. He didn't waste your money building a cathedral, let alone to spend on a cathedral without accounting for it and without parliamentary approvals. Did you lot not learn anything from the good professor while he was alive? What are you seeking to achieve? If we had very good presidential historians and biographers documenting Professor Mills's life as president of Ghana and the months leading up to his death, would any of you come out smelling of roses? Do you want the media to share the stories of what some witnessed during the 2008 and 2012, presidential election campaigns, and how the media had to censor some footages at the plea of Professor Mills's handlers and at the editorial meetings of media houses giving the ethics of the profession? The man was really very sick. You took him out of the country to seek medical help. You brought him to the tarmac and got him to jump. We could hear from his voice that he was literally dying. And you kept lying to Ghanaians about the state of his health. Do you want the media to talk about how he was literally forced against his will to address the crowd at a campaign event because the crowd had waited all afternoon and his physical condition at the time was really terrible? Professor Mills meant well for Ghana, and he was partly, somewhat, some will say, to blame for not sticking to his guns on his decisions we are told about to retire from politics and later his decision to resign as president. He needed to focus on his health and his life. Somehow, his life did not agree with the rot of politics that you guys engage in. You stole in his face, and he was tired of the thefts and the lies. Life and death are in the hands of God. The late president was a devout Christian. So we can only accept that whatever happened, God must have allowed everything. But don't insult the memory of Professor Mills with this childish public and personal self-promotion. He was, and his memory is a national treasure that must be preserved. So stop it. Just stop this nonsense. And that's my take. This show is brought to you by the kindest sponsorship of Bank of Africa, strong as a group and close as a partner, MTN everywhere you go. Ashesi University, educating ethical and entrepreneurial leaders for Africa. Robert & Sons Optical Services, your comprehensive eye care service provider for 31 years. Waylead Properties, home is where one starts. Fanat Ghana, think wood, think Fanat. And Duroplus, where Duroplus goes, water flows. I'll be right back to introduce you my guest, and then we begin the discussion on corruption. And earlier, I said that the Auditor General's report from 2016 to 2020 contains stolen money and lost money in excess of $3 billion. I meant $3 billion. I meant to say $6 billion. And we're here going to the IMF for only $2 billion. We can't retrieve the money that we have. That is ours. That you, the people in public office and politicians, have stolen. We're going to the IMF for more. But that money, like the Occupy Ghana says, will it not end up in private pockets? We'll be right back.